watching In the Perspective. We have Angie in the studio from Hollaback Jakarta. Angie, this is a special day.
Yes.
We are celebrating Indonesia. The nation is celebrating the spirit of Kartini.
Yes.
And this is much about that.
Yes.
As if not part of
Definitely.
Of that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how we have been addressing the issue of women's rights, violence against women here in the country, and how do you think the nation have moved on since then to today in terms of trying to create a better awareness?
I think that the awareness is coming every year. There are more movements like us emerging and like building on and helping, collaborating with movements that are already well established. There was a survey released recently on March 31st by Badan Pusat Statistik Indonesia. They did I'm pretty sure it's the first nationwide survey on violence against women. They surveyed more than 9,000 households representing Indonesia as a whole, and that's from the government polling organization. So it's something that is being taken seriously by many parties, and a light, like to go back to the light analogy, a light is being shown on it even more. I know that I think UN Women, along with Yayasan Puli and Aliansi Laki-Laki Baru, have been doing a safe city audit. So many people are working hard on this, and a lot of progress has been made, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, for that. Now, according to a report from Komnas Perempuan,
yes.
It was released earlier this year, violence against women in Indonesia, 259,150.
Underrepresented.
Which is reported, but we are very sure that is not the exact number.
That is like the tip of the iceberg, I
Correct.
think.
In a personal environment, 245,000, still at the top, while community or public domain, 3,092. But do we have to wait until the 3,000 number goes up, or we can do something about it to actually put it into a zero number of awareness or incidents?
We'd love that number to be zero. I do think that that number is, like I said before, sorely
I don't believe
below.
there's only 3,000 cases out there.
Nationwide, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because people are either afraid to report it or they don't know how to report it. There's sometimes a backlash of victim blaming that people don't want to face. They don't want to further add to the trauma of what they have already experienced. So I think that through our platform, it's kind of also, it's a safe space. It's your story. You can figure out what to do with it, if whatever you want. The only further comment that comes from the public on the site is a supportive comment that I've got your back, not why were you out by yourself, what were you wearing. So
these are the classic response.
Yes. So I think that the Hollaback site and community provides a safe space, and then organizations like Komnas Perempuan, they can see the stories that we have, and they can use that to further support their reports.
Before we go though, tell us about the small team that you're working with. I'm sure you're working alongside with all these wonderful Kartinis as well.
Yes, and we were just chatting this morning. We are like so sure that Kartini would be a Hollaback supporter if she was around today. There are our core team. There are 6 of us from all over the place, from different places in Indonesia and different places in the world, and we have been working really hard, and we know other people are very willing and interested to get involved in this movement, so that's why we are hopefully this weekend and next week we'll have all of our volunteer ideas and positions up on Indo Relawan so that everybody can be part of this movement to end street harassment in Jakarta. And what we really hope to see are Hollabacks popping up in other cities throughout Indonesia. Hollaback Bandung, Hollaback Jogja, Hollaback Bali. Because we've also had stories submitted to our site. We had one from Sulawesi the other day, one from Bandung, one from Bali, one from, I want to say, Salatiga. So it happens everywhere. And when people know that there's a place where they can share about it, they're willing to share. So
this may be a simple invitation, but spread and support the good movement. So if you take part, ladies and gentlemen, you may not be the victim, but people who are around you may be the victim, and they do need help to overcome and to come up and talk about it. Eventually, the goal is for us to be able to end street harassment for Hollaback Jakarta and for us.
We believe that everyone will be better off because of it.
Yeah, definitely. Jakarta.ihollaback.org. That's all where you can find all the information you need about Hollaback Jakarta, how you can participate, the events that are coming up with Hollaback Jakarta.
Yes, and one more recent initiative of Hollaback World is to battle harassment in the biggest public space, the internet. So if you go to ihollaback.org, the main Hollaback site, there's an initiative called Heart Mob, and Heart Mob you can sign up to get support for online harassment, and you can also find many resources for how to deal with and how to document online harassment.
All right, Angie, final thoughts on Kartini Day.
Final thoughts on Kartini Day. My final thoughts on Kartini Day, that's a tough one. There's so many wonderful things. I've got all my favorite Kartini quotes popping up in my head. Habis gelap terbitlah terang. I really do think that this issue is quite dark, but we can, like I said, ignite conversations about it, bring it to light, and everyone will be better off for it.
Thank you. Angie from Hollaback Jakarta, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you all the best. And Jakarta Globe will always be a big supporter of this movement, Hollaback Jakarta, and other movements that create or in the effort of trying to increase awareness to end sexual violence and street harassment. Thank you very much, Angie.
Thank you.
That has been Perspective with me, Florence Armein, on Jakarta Globe News Channel. Thank you for watching.